All right, greetings. Welcome to Eureka Math Squared. Yeah, lesson, let's say module 3, I believe, right? Module 3, lesson 5. And this one is all about comparing rational numbers. We're going to hang out on page 61 today. Exit ticket 5. Now, when it comes to comparing rational numbers, for me, it's about getting these bugaboos on a number line. Because if you can get them on the number line, right? Perhaps you get a little zero in there. Once there, you realize that things that move to the right are greater, right, than things that are to the left, right? Those are less than, right? All right, so as we cruise on the number line, we go to the right, values go up. And as we cruise to the left, values go down. So pretty simple to compare the values once you get them on a number line. The trick is make sure you get them on the number line in the correct position. You do that and you're in great shape. Okay, so sometimes your number line is going to be a vertical, like in this case, and not a horizontal. If that's the case, then of course, as we go up, the values grow, and as we cruise down, the values lessen. All right, so let's see what's up here. We have 7 feet below sea level is a lower elevation than 4.5 feet above sea level. Clearly, that's true. If I were to draw a vertical number line, and this is my sea level right here, right? My little sea level, that should be 2 words, not one, right? A little sea level, there we go. Okay, we have 7, which would be above 0, right? That's above, 7 feet below sea level. Ooh, they tricked me a little bit. Below sea level, so that would be a -7. And the 4.5 feet is above sea level, so that would be clearly above 0. So, and they're looking for an inequality. Now, the inequality is all about greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or just plain old equal to. Okay, those are your choices. So when they want an inequality, what I'm going to then do is simply put both values. I like to use a circle in between the two, and we have our 4.5. And since the -7 is lower than the 4.5, it has less value. So we put that symbol there. So there's my inequality. So when you're looking for an inequality, remember that, folks. They're looking for that greater than, less than symbol type of deal. Okay? They're using a blank for these inequalities. I like the circle, but it doesn't matter. So here we go. So here's my little A. And again, if you can put these bugaboos on a number line, then you're in great shape. Okay, watch how I run this. So I have a positive value and I have a negative value. Well, my first one, if I have a positive and a negative, my 0 goes in the middle. My -2 will be left of 0. My positive value, no matter what it is going to be to the right of 0. If that's true, my positive value is greater than my negative value, and I am done. This one's a little trickier. I have 2 negative values. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little B area here. And again, I want to get them on the number line. If I have 2 negative values, that means my 0 I'm going to put to the right. And I'm just going to order these guys here. Which one is this guy? Which one is this guy? Once I have them in the right spot, I'm set to go. So let's see what's up. I have this guy here, and I'm going to compare that with this guy over here now. -1/5 and -3/4. Maybe you know which one is which. I do. However, I'm going to show you a way to absolutely guarantee to see what's up. All right, so I have fifths and fourths. What I want to do is find a common denominator. If I count in fives and fifths and I count in fourths, you should realize that 20 is your uh, your least common multiple. And let's see, so to get to a 5 from a 20, I multiply by 4, so I multiply this guy by 4, and I have this value. They're all negatives. Let me get those negatives in there. Don't forget your negatives. Okay, this guy's a times 5, 4 times 5, 20, so 3 times 5, 15. There you go. So I have a -4/20ths and I have a -15/20ths. If I were to start counting in 20ths, right, watch this. If I were to start counting in 20ths, right, let's say I had let's see, 0/20ths, right? Negatives. The next guy is going to be a -1/20ths, cruising this way, right? Then it's a -2/20ths, a -3/20ths, and so on. Eventually, well, the first one I'm going to hit is that -4/20ths. There it is. After that, if I keep going, -5, -6, eventually I get to -15/20ths. And that's how that works. Now I know right away, this guy is to the left of this guy. If that's true, this guy is worth less, this guy is worth more. There you have it. So let's see. So this guy is going to be worth less than that guy. Hang on a second here. I think I did that backwards there. There you go. All right. So my -15/20, this is worth less than, so less than, and so less than. There you go. All right. This last one here, this one's pretty simple. If I have a 0 here, to the left of 0 are going to be my negative values. Therefore, my -6 is going to be less than my my 0. Okay, so let's see. Write a real world situation that compares a -5 being less than 3. Well, temperature seems to be a good deal. If I'm going to run temperature, you can do some values here. Hanging out in Buffalo there a little bit, you probably hit some negatives, right? So a -5 degrees Celsius, how about this, is colder than, right? Let me get that L over here. Colder than, oh boy, my handwriting is really working well today. A 3 degrees Celsius, okay? And that works pretty well. All right, that should be fine. Okay, so let's cruise on. Let's do a little bit more here. Okay, so how about we go down to the little practice area. Okay, so practice begins on page 65. Let me put that in there. So page 65. Sure, why not? Let's see what's up. We have these two values here. Jada says this inequality means -1 is less than -1, -1/2. Well, let's see what's up. Again, number line city. Two negatives, so I'm going to put my 0 over here. And I'm going to hit that -1/2 before I hit that -1 cruising to the left. So sure, this guy is going to be greater than that guy. And there you have it. Okay, so let's see. So Jada's right. -1/2 is less. -1 is less than -1/2. And Scott says -1/2 is greater than -1. Well, they're both right, sure. Both are correct. Okay, both are correct. Do-do-do-do. Wow, that's different, right? Both are correct. The other guy just reversed it, right? They just reversed that. So -1, how about this? Is to the left of -1/2, which means, or how about so, -1 is less than -1/2. There you go. Okay. To the left of, I guess I should have mentioned the number line, but okay. And then you do a bunch of these, right? So let's see, write the number that is less than the other number. Okay, so again, number lines. If I have a positive or negative, I'll put 0 in the middle. That'll be the 4. That'll be the 2. So write the value that's less. So the -2 is the lesser value. Clearly on this guy over here, this would be the 0. This would be the -7. So the -7 is to the left. It is the lesser value. This guy's kind of fun. Let's see what's up. Well, let's see, again, number line. I'm going to draw a bigger one here. If I'm in negative land, right, so let's say this is the -3. And let's say this is -4, right, negatives. This would be, let's see, if I'm doing hundredths, let's say this guy here is 3.01, negative, right? -3.01. Then the next guy up would be a -3.02, right? Then would be a -3.03, and on and on and on and on and on. If we do that, we're going to hit this guy before we hit this guy, right? So it would be negative 3.04, negative 3.05, eventually get to that 46, and then you're going to hit that 64, which means that the lesser value is the one you're going to get to last, right? Which would be this guy, that little 64 deal. There it is. Okay. All right, so that takes care of that. More number lines, right? So fraction sense, well, you can turn them into decimals if you want. I probably will. 99 hundredths, so that's a negative 0.99. This guy here, if we have a negative 201 hundredths, we actually have a negative 2.01. Well, if this is my 0 and I'm plotting those 2 points, my negative 0.99, right, it's going to be to the left of this guy over here. So this guy's clearly the smaller value. Okay, so there he is. So I'm going to write the original fraction as the one that is my answer. Okay, and so just about finishing up. These guys here, true or false? Let's see. Is the inequality true or false? Is a negative 2 greater, less than a negative 3.5? Well, if this is my 0 and I'm plotting those guys, my negative 3.5 is going to be here, and my negative 2 is going to be here, which makes this guy the lesser value. This is saying a negative 2 is less than. That's not true. That should be here. So that's a false. Okay. This guy here, pretty obvious. This is a positive value, right? So if my 0 is there, my 0.5 is here. This guy's a negative value. The negative value is clearly less than the positive value. So this is incorrect as well. So that's false. Okay. This next guy, this one makes sense. All right. This is looking pretty good because if I have 0 here, my positive value is going to be on the right of 0, and my negative value is going to be to the left. So this is correct the way it is. And this one, a little bit trickier. Some of the tricks, folks, listen, convert things if you think it's easier for you. I'm looking at 0.75, and I see a negative 1 3/4, right? This other guy here, I see a negative 1 1/2, so I see that as negative 1.5. Okay, well, actually, yeah, all right. So you know what? Let's keep this guy as a decimal. And we'll keep this guy, and we're saying, is this true? Okay, well, number line. All right, so if that's my 0, and again, if I'm counting, let me match up those place values, right? Put both in hundredths so it matches up well. I'm definitely going to hit that negative 1.50 before I hit that negative 1.75, which makes this guy the lesser value, right? So a negative 1.75 is less than a negative 1 1/2. That's true. Okay, again, if you want a little refresher, once we get to that negative 1, right, and if we're in hundredths, that next guy is going to be a negative 1.01. Then it'll be a negative 1.02. Eventually, you're going to get to this guy before you get to this guy, right? So there it is. So this is actually true. So your negative 1.75 is less than your negative 1 1/2. Okay, so that's a deal, folks. Get those bugaboos on the number line, and maybe you have to convert to decimals, fractions. Make sure they match. See how I made these guys match? And you'll be in good shape. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that and it helped. Have a great day. So long.